So this section is going to help us relate how linear equations relate to the real world. So we look at our first problem, which says the percent y in decimal form of battery power remaining after X hours after you turn on a laptop computer is y equals negative 0.2x plus 1. So you always want to figure out what the ordered pair is. And in this case, the ordered pair is always like x comma y. So our x value is looking for the amount of hours. And the y value is looking for the percent of battery power. So it wants us to graph the equation, which in this example, it is already graphed for you. So we graphed negative 0.2x plus 1. Now, when you graph, you want to make sure that you identify the slope, which would have been negative 0.2, and which really is saying that it's negative 1/5, because that's 0.2. And then the y-intercept is 0, 1. So if you look at the graph, it's saying that you are going down 0.2 and to the right 1, down 0.2 and to the right 1, down 0.2 and to the right 1, and so forth. Now it wants us to look at our x and y intercepts. So we always write an x-intercept as a number comma 0, and we always write the y-intercept as a 0 comma a number. So if we look at our y-intercept, we notice that it is 0, 1. So it is 0, 1. What that is saying is we know our x value is hours. So at 0 hours, the battery is at 1 like you could say 1 or 100% in this case, because 1 is standing, because this is 0.8, so that'd be like 80%, 60%, 40%, 20%. 1 is going to stand for 100%. So we want to write at 0 hours, the battery power is at 100%. So it is totally full. Now the y-intercept, or the x-intercept, when you look here, is at 5, 0. So we're going to write that down. So what that means is that after 5 hours, the battery is going to be at 0%. Now it's asking after how many hours, so we're trying to find hours is x, we're trying to find our x value, is the battery power at 75%. So you can either use the equation to help you find the answer, or you can look at the graph. So in this case, we know that 75% stands for the y, so I'm going to use the equation first. So I said at 75%, so I'm going to do y equals negative 0.2 x plus 1. 75%, so I'm going to do 0.75 equals negative 0.2 x plus 1. I want to get x by itself, so I subtract 1 on both sides. So I get negative 0.25 equals negative 0.2x. So I have to get x by itself, so I divide by negative 0.2 on both sides. And I'm going to get x equals 1.25, and that's going to stand because we're trying to find the amount of hours. Now our next one, we're going to do example 2. We're going to look at the graph relates temperature Y in degrees Fahrenheit to temperature X in degrees Celsius. So we always want to write, what does our ordered pair mean? What is our X value? What is our Y value? So in this case, our X value is going to be Celsius. So the temperature in Celsius. and our y value is going to be our degrees in Fahrenheit. Okay. And when we're looking at this, we want to find our slope and our y-intercept. Well, looking at our graph right here, we know our y-intercept is 0, 32. So we have our y-intercept here. Now we want to find what our slope is. And our slope, if you notice, we don't know if it goes up evenly or anything like that. So when we look at our graph, we're not sure. So what I would do is I know I have 2 points. So let's try finding our slope because we know we have 2 points. So we're going to write down our 2 points and figure out what our slope is. So we have 86 minus 32 because it's y1 minus y2 over 30 minus 0, which that's going to give us a 54 over 30, which can simplify down to 9/5. So our slope is 9/5, and our y-intercept, which we wrote up here, was 0, 32. So it says now write an equation of the line. Well, we know that the slope is 9/5, the y-intercept is 0, 32, so we would write it as y equals 9/5 x plus 32. Now it says, what is the mean temperature of Earth in degrees? Well, we need to know what the mean temperature is, and it says that the mean temperature, so if you look that up, the mean temperature is going to be 15 degrees Celsius. So what is the mean temperature of Earth in degrees? So we know the mean temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, and we know that 15 degrees Celsius is going to stand for our x value. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that equation. So we have y equals 9/5 x plus 32. Now it's asking for in degrees, so this is asking for our degrees in Fahrenheit. So we're going to substitute the 15 in for x. So we have y equals 9/5 times 15 plus 32. So we're going to take 9/5 times 15 plus 32. Okay, and all that together is going to give us a 59 degrees Fahrenheit.